Hey guys, welcome to Bookmas slash Vlogmas, whatever this is, day number 2. I'm excited for this month and all the videos I have planned. Today I want to talk bookish wish lists. I have like a few books and bookish things on my Christmas wish list. I wanted to share them, and I'm curious to know what kind of books and bookish things you have on your wish list. I'm going to be doing a giveaway again today. Second giveaway. This isn't going to go on every day as much as I wish it could, but I thought it would be fun to give one of you guys $25 towards something that's on your wish list. Originally I thought like I could just pick something off your wish list, but that gets a little complicated. So if you in the comments below tell me a bookish thing or a book that is on your wish list, and then also let's do the Christmas tree emoji just so I can make sure that you actually want to be entered into this giveaway. Then in a week's time I'm going to pick a winner and I will send that winner $25 and they can spend it on something on their bookish wish list. Okay, so I have a few different books and a few different non-book things. I'm going to get into the non-book things first because I don't have as many of those as I have books. So a few of these ideas, this kind of started, my parents like to buy us Christmas gifts, which is great. And my mom likes specific links to specific items. So that's easy and not, I like to try to give her, you know, a few different ideas so that she can maybe pick a few so that I'm not getting everything off my list, so I don't know everything I'm getting. So here is what's on my list for this year. The first one is slippers. I put up a thing actually on Instagram a while ago. I was originally thinking different slippers, and then I remembered that I had something kind of similar still. So I'm going for like a moccasin, like a faux moccasin type slipper this year. I really like slipping my slippers on and off really quickly because I feel like my feet get hot and then they get cold really fast. So I like just like a simple little slipper to take on and off, and I feel like this is a good bookish thing because when I sit down and I read, my feet always get cold. So slippers are necessary when reading in the Saskatchewan prairies in the winter, I think. Number 2, I like collecting mugs. And I like collecting different mugs. So I was looking online. For me, the stipulation is it has to be microwavable because my favorite thing to make is homemade hot cocoa, which I do in the microwave. I could do on the stove, but that like makes more dishes than necessary, so I like to do it in the microwave. So it had to be a microwavable mug, and I found this perfect one. It's like green and brown and creamy kind of colors, and green is one of my favorite colors. If you like notice my videos, I'm pretty much always wearing a green shirt. I own so many green shirts. Yeah, so I really like this mug, and it's like a pottery type mug and it's microwavable, so that's awesome. Another idea, actually I didn't give this one to my mom, I might just buy this one myself, is I want a, oh yes, I want like a handheld milk frother this year. This goes along with my homemade hot cocoa. I use dairy-free milk because dairy does not get along with my stomach, and it's really fun if you can make it really frothy. So I want a handheld, like battery-operated milk frother so I can have like nice frothy milk, and that just goes so well, I think. So I've got one of those on my like mental wish list in case someone else asks me. If not, I just might end up buying this one for myself. And then in the mug vein as well, I have a travel mug on my list that is a ceramic and silicone travel mug. I've realized, I always thought my husband was crazy when he said that tea tasted different out of a stainless steel travel mug, and until like this year, all of a sudden I realized it does. Tea tastes different, and so does my homemade hot cocoa, which if you want the recipe for my homemade hot cocoa, I always have it in the description below, so it's there. So I want a ceramic travel mug that I can take to church. That's pretty much the only place I go these days. No, there's a few other places, but I want to have that so I can take it along. And I found one that has a handle, which is awesome, and then it's also got a silicone bottom, which makes it a little bit less hazardous, I guess. I mean, the nice thing with the silicone or like the stainless steel is it's not going to wreck, right? But this one is microwavable, so I can microwave it. There was also like a bamboo-esque looking one that was almost on my list, but then that one wasn't microwavable. So this one is on my list, and this is an Elo brand, and I've had a few of their water bottles before and I've really liked them. They're like glass with the silicone on the outside. I've really liked those, so I think this one will be a really good mug. A nice travel mug that won't make things taste different. Okay, so I think that is all for my non-book things. I want warm beverages. I would have put a blanket on here, but I actually recently found one at Costco and it is like the coziest thing ever. Trying to think if I've remembered anything else. I'm not sure. Pretty much if you guys like leave ideas of things that are on your wish list that are not a book specific, I might end up putting some of those on my list as well. But let's get into some of the books that are on my wish list. Now, I've been trying to be smarter with my wish list lately, and as well the books that I purchase. So let's see, where's my lists? So I'm pretty much only putting books that I've read or that I've read something from that author before on my wish list, because I've kind of been burned before, especially if I'm going to be paying, or someone is going to be paying full price for a book for me. I want to make sure that it's one that I'm really going to like or I have liked. I like to buy discount books, let's be honest, and I don't want to spend a ton of money on a book and then be disappointed. So if I'm going to spend money on it, or someone's going to spend money on it for me, I want to make sure it's a good book. So this is just in kind of like reverse order from when I added them. So these are the most recent ones, I guess. The first one I have on here is Wives and Daughters by Elizabeth Gaskell. I think this is one of her most well-loved, I think, books. You guys know I've been raving about North and South, and recently started Mary Barton. Haven't got any farther since I shared that video, but I think I'm gonna really like this one, so that one's on my list. My next one is Deadfall by Nancy Mell. This is the second book in her Quantico Files, I think is the series. It is a mystery suspense series, and I really enjoyed book one. Book one had cultish vibes, which is like, I'm totally there for that. But I found book two overall to be even better. I found it very surprising. Okay, and then the next two go hand in hand. I have The Thursday Murder Club, which is another one I've been talking about a lot lately. I really enjoyed that one. And then I also have The Man Who Died Twice. I haven't read that one yet, but I've heard that it's even better than the Thursday Murder Club. So both of those are on my wish list. Honestly, I don't know, like, I want the first book because I've read it. I want that on my shelves, but also I haven't read book two, so I want that one. Guys, bookish problems for sure. Next up, I have We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I recently read that one a month ago or so, and I really enjoyed it. So that one's on my list, and even more so than wanting that one, I really want her The Lottery and Other Stories. It's a collection of short stories, including The Lottery, which is like her, I would say, her best piece of work from what I've read, and I think I've read what are considered her best. That one is amazing. And I haven't finished reading all of the short stories because I really want to own my own copy and kind of annotate it, I think, and then read the short stories there. Next up, on a very completely different note, is The Lost Spells by Robert McFarlane. This is a poetry collection, and it's all like nature poetry. It's about animals and trees and flowers, and the artwork is gorgeous. It's another one I read last month, and I just really enjoyed that one. Next up, I have The Case of the Bizarre Bouquets. This is an Enola Holmes book. I'm trying to remember. Oh yes, I think I own 1 and 2, and I don't think I own 3 and 4, but then I own 5 and 6, so there probably should be another one on here as well. I don't remember. I've read the entire Enola Holmes series. Like I said, I own like the ones at the beginning and the ones at the end, but I don't own the middle. So there's that one. Then I have The Life-Giving Parent. The subtitle is Giving Your Child a Life Worth Living, and this is by Sally and Clay Clarkson. I think I got this one from the library a long time ago, but I would really like to reread it. It's one that I think I would like to refer back to often. Continuing on, I have Annabelle Lee. Okay, this is an exception. I've never read this book, nor have I read anything by Mike Napa, the author. But this is one that people have recommended to me a number of times. I think I've got it out from the library twice, and I still haven't read it. So yeah, I don't even know what this is. Maybe I'll go into here. What does it say? What is the category? The genre? Spy thrillers and suspense are kind of where it goes, what it's categorized under. Next up is, one of my recent favorites has been Relative Silence by Carrie Stewart Parks. This one is a suspense story that takes place like on this private island pretty much, and there's suspicious circumstances, and the main characters all have names, are all named after birds, and it is, I think I can say this, it is my favorite Carrie Stewart Parks book, and I don't own it. So that one is on my list. And then I've got another nonfiction here, Adventuring Together by Greta Eskridge. The subtitle is one about creating connections with your kids, I think, or something like that. I read this one last summer and really enjoyed it. It was really good on audio, and it was one that I thought I might want to refer back to, so I would like to own it. Next up is one I can't believe I haven't found used, like for how much I go to thrift stores and things. That is The Wednesday Wars by Gary D. Schmidt. The Wednesday Wars and the companion novel Okay for Now, I own Okay for Now. They are some of my favorite, like upper middle grade, lower YA, I feel like they're kind of in between that category books. They're so good on audio too. And I can't believe I've never found The Wednesday Wars anywhere. So that one is definitely on my list. Next up is also, I think this is like upper middle grade as well. That is Number the Stars. It is a historical fiction, World War II, a very tiny little book. And that is one I've never found at a thrift store. So that's on my list. And then I've got Flashback, which is the Keeper of the Lost Cities book 7. We own 1 through 6, we own 8, we own 8.5. We do not own number 7. I've got most of them off of Book Outlet, and for some reason they've never had book 7 when I've looked. Next up is another historical fiction. This one is also in that like awkward upper middle grade, lower YA. It is A Night Divided by Jennifer A. Nielsen. This one is so good. This is about the night the Berlin Wall went up. It's about a family who, some of them were on one side and some of them were on the other side, and I really enjoyed that book. Next up is Book Love. I read this one almost 2 years ago, and it is little comics about bookish things, like bookish, I don't know, if you like books and you like owning books and you like reading books, this is for you for sure. Like everyone that I know that's read it has just felt like the author was like spying on them. It's so good. Okay, a couple more here. I think we're getting close to the end. Stepsister by Jennifer Donnelly. This is a kind of like Cinderella retelling, but not. It kind of takes place after the Cinderella story. So Cinderella's off and married to Prince Charming, and we actually follow one of the stepsisters, and it goes based off of the original fairy tale where the stepsisters cut off their toes to try to fit into the glass slipper. I didn't realize the original was so morbid. I still haven't read it. I should. But we follow the stepsister, and it's interesting to kind of see like her change of heart throughout the book, and it's a retelling and it's fantastical, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Next up for me is Aggie Morton. I have all 3 Aggie Morton on this list because I don't own any of them, and they have been some of my favorites. They are a play, or I don't know, it's Aggie Morton is Agatha Christie as a child, and she's solving mysteries with her friend Hector. And yeah, I have so enjoyed the series, so those are on there. And then I have Letters from Father Christmas. I meant to try to read this one this Christmas. I need to see if my library has it. It's a Tolkien book. I don't remember what it was. I think it's, let's see what Amazon says here. Okay, it is illustrated letters from Father Christmas to his children. So this is like Tolkien made these for his kids. It's letters written to his children between the 1920s and the 1940s. I think that would be so amazing to own. Yeah, definitely. Next up, okay, how many more do I have here? Okay, I've got 2 more on my list. The next one is Echo. This is a middle grade story that's like historical fiction, but a little bit of magical realism kind of thrown in there. So we follow a harmonica, a magical harmonica, and it follows different kids throughout World War II. We get glimpses into their lives, or it starts with World War II, I think, and maybe it goes farther. It's been a few years. The audiobook is fantastic, but I would just also like to own the physical book. And the last one on this list is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. This is honestly, like Skyward, that book / the series has been my favorite of his so far, but Warbreaker is my second. Oh no, that's not true. I forgot forgot about Legion, because Legion is so different. Well, anyway, Warbreaker is one of my favorites from Sanderson, and it is one that I don't own. So that is my book and bookish wish list for this year. Like I said, leave some comments below telling me like what it is that you have on your wish list, especially bookish things. Like I have no problem adding a million books to my list, let's be honest. But I'm curious to know what kind of bookish things that you guys are adding. And then if you want to be entered into the $25 gift card giveaway, make sure you have a Christmas tree in your comment. Thanks for watching, guys.